And for our next underground location, it's Chislehurst Caves. Here we see its exterior. Very interesting one this, and it's a guided tour this time. Unlike Hellfire Caves, we get a guided tour because it has to be guided. You would not want to get lost in this place. So our history is all covered in the tour. The cave network runs for 22 miles underground, and we stick to a set route. We don't cover, of course, the entire 22 miles. Parts of it are quite dangerous, parts of it are flooded at this time of the year, as you will see with our end photograph in this intro. But our tour encompasses everything from the Druids and the Romans, and with the Druids, long whispered rumours of sacrifices, to Jimi Hendrix and underground raves and parties. As I said, parts are flooded, and this is a picture from the Chislehurst Caves website, so photo credit to them for that, because this is a part that you can't access at the moment, but thought I'd wanted to show this image. It's really nice. And so, let our tour begin, where you'll join me, Brandon and Bella, inside the little mini museum, and then we'll be heading off into the caves themselves. Hope you're all going to enjoy this one. It's very moody, it's atmospheric, lantern lit, and we get a little taster of a World War II recreation. So I hope you're all going to enjoy it.
Sheltering and befriending English and French soldiers in Belgium and helping them rejoin their regiments. Of course, she knew she was defying Germany, a very risky thing to attempt. She was imprisoned, tried, and almost before anyone knew anything about her, she was calmly shot in the night, or rather, at 2 o'clock in the morning. What a ghastly time to be executed.
During World War I, those army workers often had periods with absolutely nothing to do and got bored stiff. One of the things I did to relieve the boredom was carve things on the wall. The whole it's got carvings on it, funny carvings in here. It's all sort of painted, this one is actually supposed to be Edith Cavell, the nurse. I thought they suffered greatly over the years.
I'm playing for the telephone.
Yes, brilliant. I think she'll be laughing in a minute.
Cheers, Bella, thank you. Oh, look at this. Look. No, I'm fine. No, it's all right. These were used as air raid shelters in the war, you see. Sorry if I'm a bit quick on certain things because I have to keep up with my group.
Quite a lot.
I'll take one if it's okay.
Shall we take one more? Yeah, you still take one more. Thank you.
Oh, oh, fascinating place, look.
Is that one of these in your shop?
Yeah, years ago, yeah, before I got electric in it. Don't, because it will start to make it really bad. They're put just on the right
As you
level.
can see, this is the map of the cave system. So as you can see, it's split up into 3 sections. You've got the Saxon section here, the Roman section here, and then you've got the Druid section up the top here. So the Druid section is the oldest part of the caves. It's around 4,000 years old. And the Druids were coming down here, mining the chalk, and then using the chalk for farming. So they would grind it down into dust, mix it with manure, throw it on their crops and land, and it would just act like a fertiliser, just help things to grow a bit better. Being Druids, it's also said they were using the caves for religious activities, and it's rumoured that a lot of those activities were human sacrifices. Of course, we'll get a little bit more into that when we get around to the Druid section. Now, the Roman section here, obviously it's the largest section, and it's about 2,000 years old. And the Romans were using the chalk for a totally different reason. Romans were using the chalk for building. It's the same idea, they kind of mine the chalk, grind it down into dust, but then the Romans would squeeze it into blocks and just use that to build houses, roads, bathhouses, anything else they were building at the time. Now, the little Saxon section up here, it's obviously the smallest section, and it's around 1,400 years old, and the Saxons were using the chalk for both. So they basically just figured out what the Romans and Druids had done with it, and basically just stole their ideas. Now, the whole cave system is 22 miles. We're only going to be going on we're only going to be going on about a mile tour. So don't panic, we're not all going to be running around 22 miles. But we are here at the moment, and we're just going up to the Saxons, into the Druids to around here, straight down to the Romans, straight back up again. So almost just following the inside edge round. We will start with the church just over there. So if you want to go over, have a little look and admire the creepy mannequins.
Tour guides got lost. Really?
When we first started, when I first started, I just went up and came down and I was going to go back out. So it's kind of wild. You have to be half proud to be. Okay guys, so as I said, this is the Old Cave Church. So during the Second World War, we did become one of the biggest air raid shelters of our kind, and we had over 15,000 people staying here every night. Now, as you can imagine, with that amount of people, a lot of them would have been religious, would want to pray, have church services, things like that. So the church here was made for them. It's holy ground, it's still considered holy ground to this day. It was consecrated by the Bishop of Rochester, and because of the amount of people that were down here, they ran services 7 days a week. And there could have been anywhere up to 100 people squeezed into the church every single service, so it would have been very cramped. But they ran services like that for the whole period of World War II. And the only time they actually stopped the services was for the christening of a young girl, and we'll get a little bit more into that later on. So if you're all happy, we'll have a good look here, just follow me. Any questions going around, don't hesitate to ask. Any problems, let me know. And if anyone feels like they can't continue with the talk for whatever reason, let me know. I can radio up and have someone come and get you.
This is fascinating, isn't it? Don't you dare. Well, don't you dare.
Let me get one.
Wander off down there.
Let me take a look.
I know. Careful.
Okay guys, so this bit here, this actually represents World War I, not World War II. And during the First World War, this whole section was used as a barrack for the Woolwich Arsenal. So they were storing tons and tons of powder, explosives and ammunition down here. At one point they had over 1,000 tons of TNT down here. So there was a lot of it. And obviously with the risks involved, they could have military guards. A little bit like these guys here. Hopefully they wouldn't have been smoking around the explosives, we can only hope. For some of these guys, they could have been here anywhere from 12 to 48 hours, so they would have got very bored, and a lot of them did start doing the carvings and things in the walls. So there is one here. Believe it or not, it did used to be quite a detailed face at one point. It's just crumbled over the years and doesn't look as good now. But you will see hundreds, if not thousands, of these around the cave system. Little faces, names, dates, literally everywhere. Most of them, especially as we get further into the caves, would have been done by shelterers here during the Second World War, but we do know these ones were done by the World War I soldiers. Now, as we go just through here, you'll notice a stage, and around the stage there's a lot of names, dates, things like that. The ones in here would have actually been done by concert goers. So during the 50s and 60s, Radio Caroline took over down here, and Radio Caroline was a pirate radio station. It was extremely popular at the time, so as you can imagine, a lot of the big bands and names at the time wanted Radio Caroline playing their music. Which worked for us, and it meant that we did end up with some big names playing down here. Just to roll a few off for you, David Bowie played down here, Led Zeppelin played here, The Who, Pink Floyd, even Jimi Hendrix played here in his earlier days. So we did work in our favour. But we ran events like that all the way through to the early 2000s. And the only reason we stopped the events is purely because neighbouring houses started to make a lot of complaints. As you can imagine, people even after the event had left one too many and were causing all sorts of dramas. And in the end, officials jumped on us and we got told to shut down the events and shut down the caves. So unfortunately, it means that we can't jump up on the stage and have a chat now, but that's just the way things go. Now, if you guys want to go straight through, have a little look at the stage area, I'll come in just behind you and let you know what's there.
Oh yeah, look, watch this fella. Well spotted. That's fascinating, isn't it? I love historic graffiti. It's quite a lot of it. Oh, look at that. Wow. Oh, mate. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I bet you could. Look at that. Oh, there's pictures of that. It's full of it.
The faces there.
Oh yeah, look, there's more faces here, Bella. Yeah. Cool. Oh wow, look at this. Look at that one, Bella.
Okay then guys, so just if you think about the lights above you here, do enjoy them because apart from the ones on a couple of displays and the lamps that you guys are holding, these are now the last lights on the tour. So stick close, stay with the group, keep up, and I'll do my best not to get us lost.
Stay right down with the lamp.
Now,
That's brilliant, isn't it? Enjoying this. Aye. I know, it's fascinating, isn't it? Historic graffiti, look. Cops and... yeah. Amazing. You are? I will until we get to where the guide is, because it said about no flashy things. So, quite fascinating, this. Yeah. I didn't realise it was as old as the Druids and Pagans. I thought it was just Roman.
I didn't know we were conquered by the Romans.
Yeah. Yeah, Julius Caesar came over and then I think it was Emperor Augustus. I could be wrong about that though. So it's out there.
Right, just watch yourselves coming through here. It's quite a small tunnel and slowly be careful through here.
Do you reckon Joseph would like this? Yeah, he probably would. They stored and kept vegetables down here. Alright. Nah, it's alright. It's me, I was taking pictures and I ain't getting lost in here. The panic would be too much. Oh, look at that. Sorry. Just taking lots of photos. As well as films I can photograph while I'm filming as well, you see. Pardon? Yeah. Imagine how easily you could get lost down here, look. Yeah, I will do. So it looks wet, isn't it? Oh, this is brilliant. Very much so. Alright. Give me the pen.
I like these teachers.
Yeah, they're alright, aren't
They're not
they?
too bright, isn't it?
Nah. Imagine it digging this out by something very much like that. Or in the Roman and pagan times, just would have been rushlights.
What's rushlights?
You know, like what grows along riverbanks and fluffy things? They cut them down, dry them out, soak them in animal fat, and use them as candles. Not very, but that's what they had.
Okay guys, so these little bits here, these are the old wartime toilets. Now when you came down here to stay during the Second World War, you would get your ticket from the entrance and you'd be asked to make a contribution to help with the running of the caves. It was only a contribution, so if you didn't have the money you wouldn't be turned away. You would still be allowed to stay down here, they would just ask you your ration book or ask you to help out with jobs, and that would then act as your contribution. But it was purely non-profit. So whenever they got the entrance, came straight back down here, and it did fund for things like toilets, toilet cleanups, food supplies, medical supplies, things like that. As you can imagine though, funding wasn't great. They didn't have the money to make the best of everything, so they weren't toilets like we would know. It was quite literally just a chemical bowl on the floor. And you'd be expected to do your business, empty the bowl into one of the tanks that would have been in here, and then someone would come around once a week with a big wooden cart, collect up the tanks, take them to the surface and dispose of the waste. But if you think with the dark passages and bumpy floors, a lot of it would have got spilled on their way up, so it wouldn't have been too nice for people staying down. Now the pictures here, these were actually done in the 60s by the owner's niece, and it's quite literally, she had a picture of the Druids. So this guy on the left here, it's an old Druid priest. It's wearing a ceremonial robes, but it's all like blood, and the people supposedly coming down for the sacrifice. The one on this side is a little bit more to the fact history. So nowadays, if you do something wrong, you might be arrested, go to court, kids will be grounded, phones or toys taken off them, whatever else. If you were here during the Druid times, you weren't that lucky. So then, it didn't matter if you were a baby, child, adult, elderly. If you broke their rules, they would simply throw you into a giant wicker basket, and the basket would then be set alight. They weren't the nicest of people, but as you can imagine, they never had any repeat offenders, so it was obviously a successful form of punishment. If any of you do want to have a quick look in there, you're more than welcome to. It is just empty cubicles now, but you'd be amazed at how many people ask if they can look in the toilets. So if you do want to, by all means, feel free to poke heads in there.
Look at that. And it just goes, oh, see how easy you'd get lost in here. This is a maze, isn't it? Yeah. Goes right round through the men's side on round that way. Yeah, it's brilliant. There's a carved stone wash basin. Yeah. Yeah. That's fascinating.
Picture of the painting.
Yeah, I'm going to grab that in a sec. Yeah, if you could come with the lantern, if that's all right.
Around the circle.
Yeah.
There's one.
Oh, look at that.
Okay, everyone done in the toilet? Get home with it.
Yeah, I'm going to grab that one. Guys. Would you mind lighting that up for me, please, Bella? Cheers. Perfect.
Did you see the well?
No, I didn't.
Behind it.
Oh, look, a well. Oh, thanks, Bella. Oh, look, a well.
Wishing well.
That's deep as well.
Wishing well.
Yeah. Oh, shit, it's dark, isn't it? This way. See how easy it would be to get lost. Well, this is well worth £8, isn't it? It's £8 this one, ladies and gents. It is guided tour only for obvious reasons, because you can imagine how easily you get lost. Oh, wow. Look at that.
Okay, so I would love to tell you that this is thousands of years old or done by ancient Druids. It's not. This was done in 1995 by an artist called Sandy Brown. And she decided that she wanted to come here and do this as a way to kickstart her art career. So fresh out of university, she came down and harassed him over for months and months to let her do this. Eventually he gave in, and she ended up spending over a year down here, every day from open to close doing this. So a lot of hours did go into it. And it's quite literally just her with the Druids. So in the middle here, it's meant to be the Druid tree of life. On this side, it's meant to depict the evils. You've got dragons, monsters, demons, things like that. And on this side, it's meant to depict the good. So you've got the guardian there, you've got the watcher, and other little symbols that are supposed to bring good luck. The Sandy knew what people could be like, and I'd like to make up stories about practically anything. So she did a couple of things just to make sure that nobody could lie and take the told them in bots. So if you look down here, there's Canary Wolf, there's the River Thames, and then there's Spider-Man. There you go. I didn't say Spider-Man was very much a Druid campus, so she was doing it. But if any of you do want to have a little bit more of a look at this, by all means please do. I will wait just at the end of this little passage here. Right, okay. I will do my best to make it as realistic as possible, and then I shall see you all tomorrow.
Now we get a recreation of what it would have been like to be down here in the Second World War with air raids going on. They had to have lights out by 8 PM, so they were in the pitch black dark, and you're going to hear in a minute.
Okay. Okay guys, your lamps are just on a table round that corner. If you had a lamp, just grab one and head back this way. If you didn't have a lamp, obviously don't get one. I don't know, sounds... Are you carrying a lamp?
She and Luke will get out ones.
Imagine how kids felt during the boot.
You what? Sorry, mate.
Imagine how kids felt during the boot.
Terrified, I should imagine. Hearing that lot. You what? Sorry. Girl in the 1940s died down here. Oh look. Yeah. You got sorry? Nah, no man. That wouldn't be fun, would it? You could easily get lost down here, couldn't you? Easy get lost down here. Right, Ravers. You what, sorry?
I forgot it was school holidays.
Yeah, that's alright. Still a really good tour, isn't it?
It's a nice tour, isn't it?
Yeah. Enjoyed it.
Would you do it again?
Yeah, definitely. Yes. Have you turned that up?
Yeah,
I thought you had.
You should know about that.
Your hand will be covered in black soot.
No, I didn't do that.
Yeah, that's alright.
Okay guys, so as you can see, this is how things were set up during World War II. So as I mentioned earlier, we did have over 15,000 people staying here every night, and they had to be accommodated somehow, so they started bringing in loads and loads of these triple tier bunks. Basically every tunnel and passage in the cave system would have looked like this. Now, the conditions weren't the best of people down here, and they didn't put a ban on smoking, so the air would have been thick with thousands of people smoking, with the toilet carts going up, dropping waste on its way up, the fumes and smells that would have mixed in, even just the general heat. 15,000 people is a lot of body heat, and the temperatures down here hit between 30 and 33 degrees. So it would have been very hot for people down here as well. But because of the amount of people that were here, it did turn into a small underground town. And a lot of the people that had professions on the surface were using those to help everybody else out down here, so they ended up with almost everything you could think of. They had banks, theatres, dance rooms, cafeterias, dentists, barbers. One guy even brought a projector and they set up a cinema room. They literally had everything. And one of the things they had was the old cave hospital, which is just up round this corner.
Yeah, coffee shop, yeah.
Oh, I forgot to ask him. Did he have a DVD made? You don't know?
Yeah.
Okay, so as I said, this is the Old Cliff Hospital. Now, believe it or not, there wasn't any major illnesses or incidences here. It was all just coughs, colds, wounds, head lice treatments, blood fluids, things like that. And in fact, the only big event that actually happened was the birth of a little girl. So if you remember me saying around by the church, the young girl was christened there, she was actually born down here. Normally with pregnant women when they went into labour, they would have had an ambulance called and gone to a hospital on the surface to give birth. Unfortunately for that lady, there was an air raid going on at the time, so an ambulance just couldn't make it to get her. But they did give her daughter a name where she was born, and the poor little girl ended up being called KV. It's a horrible name, and as you can imagine, as soon as she was old enough, she changed her name. So she now goes by the name Rose with KV as her middle name, which just doesn't tell anyone what it is. Can't blame her, really. But while we're heading around, we'll notice a few signs on some walls and doors. It will just give you a little idea of some of the things they had and how they laid out down here. It's like,
What would you name it?
Chislehurst.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
This is fascinating.
Someone never had a shed there.
Of course they probably did. Yeah. You nearly fell.
Sorry, don't watch you.
That's all right. Citizens' Advice Bureau, Women's Lavatory. Oh, I'd say this. I don't know if I want to. Yeah. Nah, I don't know, not without a guide. Because this place has got dentists, look, yeah.
I didn't think it was a self-guide.
No, it's too big, isn't it?
And mine is more. She's going to be down here for 45 minutes time.
Ah.
Okay, so watch yourselves coming through here. He's one of the smallest passages in the system to enable us up on the safe side. Also stick to the left as you come through. As the little drains that pokes out on the right, and I shall move on the right. So just mind your heads and stick to the left.
Was there a vacuum lady down there?
Probably, yeah, tobacco lady, yeah. Look at that, look.
This is Mr. Garden and Mr. Quarles' office.
Oh, look at prison. Yeah, post office. I'm so short I can walk upright in this. It's alright, look. I'm only 5'7".
Kelly knows what we talk about.
No, I'm short, but she's shorter than me. I'm not that short yet.
Beggar would have gone on down there.
Look at that.
He's deaf, so even the air raid wouldn't have bothered him.
Oh, look at that.
We are now back at the ticket office, which does mean that this is the end of the tour. You have got just under 50 minutes to walk the mile, so well done for making it back out again. I'll be here for a minute or two, so if you want to have a quick read of the Wartime rule book, by all means you can do. When you leave, if I ask you to switch your lamps on the little table over here, and then just follow the left side up, and it will take you back up to civilization. So I do hope you all enjoyed yourselves, and thank you all very much for coming. Thank you.
Thank you. Hope you all enjoyed that one, ladies and gents. I hope you all enjoyed that as much as we did. And the interesting and slightly murky pagan and Roman history. We know they were there, but we can't prove what they did and what they got up to down there, so I won't focus on that too much. But I'll begin us off just before the First World War and the interwar years, what the caves were used for. And as you see them here, for the use of mushroom growing. Just after the war they carried on being used for that as well, and some parts for cheese storage. And then come the 50s and 60s, they soon turned into an up-and-coming rave venue, as we're going to see soon. Here's the mushrooms themselves growing. And some great wartime images taken down in the caves. These are rare wartime photos. Obviously these would have been taken for the War Office, or possibly by someone that had a camera and some film left over. Although you had to be a bit careful with what you photographed in the Second World War, you could get yourself into trouble. A wartime whist drive in Chislehurst Caves. Look at all those old ladies. Ooh, I bet they've killed a few in their time over whist drives. Whist drives can be quite brutal and dangerous, I've been told. It's amazing how well it functioned down there, but as I've said before to a few friends of mine, us humans, we're one of the most adaptable species on the planet. We may not think we are, but when thrown into dodgy situations like this, well, you see the results. And so many people used to get down in the caves that it raised the temperature to around 34 degrees. Here you see the Salvation Army playing. Dave Miller, aged 12 at the time he went to live in the caves. This is Dave's story. I'll pause for a little while on it, or stay for a little while on it, but pause to read if you'd like to, because we'll be moving on in a minute. And we should be moving on now, so pause to read if you want to, if you've not finished yet. Residents brought in furniture to make the caves more homely, painting by Henry Carr in the Imperial War Museum. And we leave the Second World War era behind and enter into its next phase, which was a up-and-coming party and rave venue. That went on for a good few years until the local residents eventually got paid off with all the noise and mess and things like that after, when everyone came out, and it was put a stop to. Chislehurst Caves in the southeastern suburbs of London is a 22-mile long series of tunnels. During the 1960s, the caves were used as a music venue, and many notable artists played there, including David Bowie, Jimi Hendrix, Pink Floyd, just to name a few. A gig in the Melody Maker, 30th of March 1963. Chislehurst Caves, Dave Nelson's Jaband Raydell and the Rocking Deacons and the Carnivals. 1,500 young people at a cave rave. Kent Messenger, 20th of March 1964. You can almost sense the middle-aged outrage from the time, can't you? All those young people taking drugs and enjoying themselves and leaving effluvia everywhere, which they very probably did. The Epitaph Souls, the Forerunners of Danny and the Torinos, the Two Squared, the Great Expectations, Hamilton Kings, Blue Messengers, and Brian Something and the What's It's Melody Maker, 14th of May 1965. Crowd during the Jimi Hendrix Experience, performance down in the caves in the 1960s, and it was 1966, and here is the man himself, Jimi Hendrix, and this picture is titled Jimi Hendrix Chislehurst Caves 1966. The Conrads with David Jones front right on a sax and vocals. David later changed his name to Bowie to avoid being confused with the Monkees' Davy Jones. So you see David Bowie before he was David Bowie, when he was David Jones. On This Day in Music, photo credit to that webpage on Facebook. 31st of October 1974, Zeppelin held the UK launch for their new record label Swan Song at Chislehurst Caves in Kent in England. On Halloween night, drinks were served, and nuns in suspenders, a naked woman lay in a coffin covered in jelly, naked male wrestlers cavorted in recesses of the caves. Label mates, Bad Company, The Pretty Things, Maggie Bell also attended. The launch also tied in with the release of The Pretty Things' new album, Silk Torpedo. The label was named after an unreleased Zeppelin instrumental track. And as we leave the music era behind and step back into our own era, I couldn't help giving you a little glimpse of this again. I'm sorry we couldn't stay for too long and focus on things, but this was a group tour, and as you can understand from if you've watched it, you do not want to lose sight of your group, because if you get lost down there, it would not be a pleasant experience, I can tell you that. When that darkness set in, when he walked away and gave us the Wartime experience, as he said, and I will confirm, you will never experience darkness like that until you go to a place like that. It was literally all-consuming. But yeah, to this beautiful carving, and with the little nod to the people that might go down there and think that this is old, it's not old, and proven by that is Spider-Man, Canary Wolf, and the River Thames at the bottom, all marked out there with a little arrow. But I thought this was absolutely beautiful. What a piece of work. This young lady spent a very long time doing this, so I thought it was something worth featuring. There will be separate photos, of course. Hope you ladies and gentlemen all enjoyed the tour. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one, which will probably be Stained Glass Sunday, number 2, Temple Place. Absolutely beautiful building in its own right, so join me for that soon.